Hey guys, back to another YouTube video. Today it's going to be another collections video, and today it's going to be all the bucklights that I have collected so far over the years. And I have them all organized from the oldest all the way up to the newest. So I guess I'll start with the oldest one of the bunch. This is a Buck 426 3-line predate code. Basically dates from 1972 to 1986. Beautiful condition. The plastic is undamaged. Blade's seen some use, but not much. Basically, the Buck 110 light of its time period, before they officially started making them. Again, beautiful condition. That one. Next is another 426. This is from 1986. 426 to 1986. Let me rephrase it. It's a 426 and it's from 1986. My apologies. Say that 10 times fast. Beautiful condition. Almost looks the exact same as its older brother. Just a few differences in the blade stock. Again, beautiful condition. This one, if I recall, I got this one from a pawn shop and I got the other one from a flea market. Next is a 1985 Buck 422. This one I got from my good friend Sean, those who may remember. Again, I completely cleaned it up. It wasn't really dirty. It was a little bit dirty, but I cleaned up the plastic, polished up the blade, made it look a lot nicer. And it went straight in my collection. Thank you very much, Sean. Again, I still love this thing. Basically, the Buck 112 light of its time period. Again, beautiful knife. Next is another thing you don't see every day, a Buck Hawkbill, or specifically a Buck 811. And this one is from 1988. Beautiful condition for the age. I would call it near mint, but it's seen some use, and sadly someone put their initials on this blade and it's laser etched, so I can't get that off without damaging the blade. So I decided to leave it alone. Again, you don't see these very often. And if this wasn't very old and collectible, I would so use this as a utility knife. Beautiful. Again, you don't see these very often. Next is another 422. This one is from 1994. Beautiful condition. This one, if I recall, I actually bought this one in a lot that I got in. Again, beautiful condition. And you start to see the difference in the plastic. Now, as you see in the older version, this one has more of a rounded cast plastic. This one has more of a squared off cast plastic. Still a beautiful knife. Can't beat that. Beautiful. Next is another 422, and this one is from 1993. Again, beautiful condition for the age. Plastic is undamaged and unnicked, and again, I repolished the blade. This one, if I recall, I actually bought from a flea market. Next is another 426. This one is the black one with the squared off plastic instead of the rounded cast plastic. And this one is from 1993. Again, beautiful condition. This one, if I recall, I got from one of my friends. And how I got it was very simple. He wanted a modern one of these. Well, actually, at first he wanted to sell it to me. And I said, how about I do you one better? How about I get you a modern version of this? Because he didn't really want to sell this, but I knew he wanted something a lot better. So I said, how about this? Instead of me buying this from you, how about I buy you a modern version and just send it to you in exchange for your older one? And he happily did that, and so I went to my local Walmart, picked up another one of these, and sent it to him, and he did a trade with me. Again, it goes to show what several years will do. But yep, anyway, so again, this one's one of my favorites, and I love collecting these. Sadly, this one has seen some use, but still, it's pretty good for the age. The plastic's undamaged, and it has the original case with it. Next, this one's one of my favorites. This one is a 426 from 1992, and this one is the Bud Light King of Beers series. Now, I'm not a beer guy by any means, but this one really stood out to me. I was at a local pawn shop, and I saw this in their display case, and at first when I got it, I was going to get this etching off of it, but I realized it's actually more valuable leaving the etching on than it is without it, because a really good shape Buck 426, if it's in really good condition, then you could probably get 50, maybe $60 depending. But the fact that this one's got the Bud Light etch on it, this one actually adds value to it, which makes it worth about $60 to $70 since it has the original sheath with it. Again, that was a great buy, and I was so happy to find this and put this in my collection. This I actually found at a local pawn shop. Again, beautiful knife. Next is another one of my favorites. This is a Buck 450, and this one is from 1995. Beautiful condition for the age. The rubber-ish plastic is undamaged, and if this thing wasn't collectible, I would so use this knife because I love the design, and I love that it's small as a 112, and I love the finger notch right here because it really grips to your hand. Beautiful condition. This one, if I remember right, I picked this one up at a local pawn shop as well. Beautiful. Next is a Buck 425 from 1999. Beautiful little baby knife. Again, it's not just the large ones I collect. I do collect the small ones. Beautiful. This one, if I remember right, my father found this one for me. He found one for himself too and got two in the deal. So he gave me one and he kept one for himself. Beautiful little pocket knife. Next is another one of my favorites. This one is from 1999. And this one's one of my favorites as well. And this one I actually found all by accident. I was at a local pawn shop and it was sitting just like this in the bucket of knives. And I at first shoved it to the side because China is well known for copying this design. And at first I just pushed it to the side, but then when it flipped over on this side, I saw the old style Buck emblem on the clip. So I decided to give it a look. So I opened the knife and realized it said Buck on it. And I was shocked to find this thing because I didn't know Buck even made a design like this. But it goes to show in the knife business, you always learn more. There is no one person in the world that knows every knife that's ever been made because there's always more to learn, especially in the knife business. And this particular one is from 1999, and it's a Buck 186. Beautiful condition. I love the design. This one didn't require much to clean up. I re-tipped it, but you can't even tell because I did it in a way you can't even tell. And I polished it up, made it look a lot nicer, and put it in my collection. Again, beautiful knife. I was so happy to find that, and it goes to show you don't always know everything in the knife business. Next is another one of my favorites. This is a Buck 444 from 2004. Say that 10 times fast. And this one my father actually found for me, and I love the size of it. It's not too big and it's not too small. It would easily fit in your pocket, and it's very light. And this one, again, wasn't collectible. I would so use this knife. Great condition for the age, and again, don't see them like this that much anymore. Next is the largest among the lights. This is a Buck 387 from 2006. Beautiful condition. Definitely the largest among them all. And I would definitely take this backpacking if I had the chance because it would make a nice little chopper and it would make a nice little skinning knife. This one I actually picked up at a local pawn shop as well. Again, beautiful condition. Another one of my favorites, the Spitfire. And this one I actually got in a lot that I purchased. And this one specifically is called a 722. And this one is from 2013. Love the orange aluminum on this thing. And I love the design. There wasn't really much wrong with it when I got it. There was a few chips in the edge, but nothing that I couldn't fix. And it was a little bit dirty, but nothing a little soap and water and oiling couldn't fix. And again, if I didn't have just this one, I would so carry this knife. But I plan on getting a modern one to carry and try out. I'm not a pocket clip fan. I've never have been. I always loved the classic pouches, but given the reputation this thing has got with it, I would so carry this knife if I had a modern one because it opens and closes without a problem. I mean, and plus the buck quality, you can't beat that. Beautiful knife. Next is one of the ones I got back from the factory, and this one isn't the original one I had. The one I had was actually a lot older, and it was pretty beat up. I mean, the spring was corroded, and they basically told me that it was beyond fixing, and they sent me a brand new one, which I was totally fine with because I paid next to nothing for that knife originally. And this is a model 524 from 2018, which is really shocked considering this came straight from the factory and it's that old. It's about, 3 years old, and it came straight from the factory, so I would consider that new old stock. I love the design. Again, if I didn't have just this one, I would so carry this knife. It's very lightweight. It easily fits in your pocket, and it's so easy to sharpen. Again, you can't beat the quality. Next is getting into my favorites. This is a Buck 110 Orange Light that came in a collector's tin that I bought from Atwood's. And it was so worth the money. I mean, it was only $15, again, about the price of a normal one. And I love the orange color. This one is from 2019. And I still got the collector's tin to go with it. And this one's never been used, and I just love this knife. And then next is the one you can pick up at a local Walmart. This one's, again, one of my favorites. If you can't afford a regular 110, this is your second bet. It's a lot cheaper, only $20 where I am at least. And they're great knives, made in the US. You can't really get something that well made for that cheap nowadays. And this particular one is from 2020, only a year old. I plan on getting another one of these, and I'll try it out, carry it, see how it performs. But I'm not going to carry this one because it's the only one I got. Next is the only 110 light automatic I've got. This is a Buck 293 from 2020. Those who may remember my old Christmas video, I got a whole bunch of gift cards for Christmas. So what I did is I went to Walmart and picked up this guy. It was an automatic knife, and I love the design of it. You see the lock. Push it this way, you can't unlock it. You close it, and then it automatically locks. Close this, you can't pull the switch. Open it, it'll open. Beautiful knife, and I did carry this for a time period, but I still love my 110, so I just retired it to my collection. Again, beautiful condition. Again, if you're looking for a budget automatic, I would highly suggest getting this because they're still for sale. Next is another one of my favorites. This one my father got for me. This is a 112 Ranger Light. Again, beautiful condition, and I love the desert tan color. And I would love to get a green one, a blue one, all the other colors they provide. But this one's definitely one of my favorites. And this one is from 2021. I would carry this thing, but sadly, it's the only one I've got. So if I get another one, I'll probably carry that one and keep this one brand new. Because my father did get this for me, and it's the only thumb stud one I've got. Or at least thumb stud 112. Again, beautiful condition. And this one's one of my favorites as well. It's a Buck 112 blade and a 422 handle. This one has a unique story attached to it. I found this at a flea market. The original blade was heavily, heavily sharpened to a toothpick, quite literally. And it was beyond saving, so I sent it into Buck, and I'm very happy with what they did. They actually put a Buck 112 blade in this knife, and that blade itself is from 2021. And I'm very happy with it. I love how it turned out, and I paid $1.50. Cost me an extra $10 to send it in, and it tripled my investment. And then I later on found the original case that came with this knife. Again, beautiful story, and I'm glad to finally bring this beauty back to life. But you got the Buck factory to thank for putting the new blade in for me. Again, beautiful condition. I really wish somebody at the Buck factory would film how they do their warranties, because I would just love to see, do they like put this on a press and it instantly punches the pin out and that's how they insert a new blade? I mean, I would love to see a video of that. Beautiful. And last but not least is one of the ones I got back brand new from the factory. And I don't quite remember the model number of the one I sent in before I got this one, but they basically told me that it was beyond fixable, and they just gave me the current model of whatever that one was. This particular one is a Buck 284 from 2021. Again, beautiful little knife for the size. It's got some good weight to it, and it still is very sharp. It's sharp straight from the factory. But yep. All right, that's all my buck lights I have. In another video, I'm going to do all my buck pocket knives, and then in a video after that, I'm going to do a video of all my buck random fixed blades I've got. So stay tuned for that video. Keep collecting, my brothers, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And as always, stay sharp and keep collecting.